The other thing that, and this is sort of off in left field kind of, but it's on the same subject. There were songs that were put out in the 60s that, they were like one hit wonders. There was one song, it went out and that was it, nothing else came after it. There's a book that was written in the late 90s by the same people that did the Montauk information, and they talked about this idea of embedding a intention into a creation, and that if this intention were embedded into the creation correctly, then everyone who got the creation would want to have it, would want to buy it, would want to use it. And this is sort of what Joe Vitale was talking about when he was, when he first started doing the hypnotic advertising and hypnotic marketing thing. And back in the days of Wicca, or I guess probably before it was called Wicca, when it was called witchcraft, that was called charming. And if you had a little insight and a little ability to see energy, you could detect whether or not something had been charmed. And it's very interesting to look at things that are marketed now, that you look at them and you go, why does this have appeal? Because your logical mind is saying, there's nothing special about this, but there's a part of you that's just going, this is wonderful. I really like this. I really enjoy this. I really want to have this. And I think that has to do with that whole idea of placing an intention on the thing that you're creating before you send it out into the world. So the same thing goes for our vision boards. If we just sit and look at a magazine and rip pages out and then stick glue on them and then hang it up on the wall, then it's just pieces of paper stuck on the wall. But I think that the magic of a vision board is as much in the creation of it as it is in the board sitting on the wall. If you take the creation of the vision board as a ritual, then it becomes a power object. It becomes, and you could put it away and never look at it again, and you would probably still manifest the thing that was on that board. I remember taking a picture of a car that I drew, because I didn't have a picture of the car that I wanted, so I drew it. And I made it into this little card, and then I lost it. And later, I ended up going through some stuff, and I found this picture that I had drawn. And it was the same car that I had drawn. I was like, wow, this is it. Just like the movie The Secret. I was like, wow, this is it. You do, you get the picture and you put it up there and you focus on it and it happens. I got another picture of a car because, years later I want another car. So I got another picture of a car out of a magazine, stuck it on the wall, thought about it, focused on it, whatever. The car never happened. Now, what is the difference? I think that the difference is the amount of energy that I put into drawing the picture caused the picture to become a reality in my life, as opposed to finding the picture in a magazine and just cutting it out and sticking it in, on the wall or whatever. There's no energy in that. There's no focus. And sticking it on the wall doesn't do anything. You stick it on the wall and then you forget it. So what's that? But if you draw it, or if you energize it, if you charge it, if you feel yourself driving it, then it becomes a talisman. It becomes charged with the energy to draw it to you. I think that that's what works, because I don't have another explanation for why, when it was so tedious to build a flyer back in the day, that those flyers were so much more effective than these really beautiful flyers that we're building now. You know, we're building these really fabulous 3-color process, slick things, and oftentimes they're not effective. I think that the same thing goes for a web page. You know, if you build your own web page, not doing HTML, because God forbid you probably will lose your mind if you don't know how to do HTML, but just using templates. If you build your own web page, or you work closely with your web designer, the energy, the focus that goes into the creation of that page, that site, is going to attract more people to it than if someone just kind of is either paid to do it, that has no attachment, no feeling for what it is that they're creating, or if you make a page that it's like, oh, it's templates and you just stick the pictures in and you go on about your business. I'd like to hear other people's thoughts on this, because I've looked at things that seem like they shouldn't be and watch them just snowball as far as their attractiveness to people. And I don't have another explanation for them other than they appear to have a glow around them, and that glow seems to attract people to buy them. Just quick examples. Those little dolls. Oh God, what were they called? Well, the Pet Rock was one of them, but the other one was those little stuffed animals, and people were collecting them. They were spending thousands of dollars for the sets of them, and now I can't think even of what they were. But it was really interesting when they were very popular. I saw one and I was just like, oh my God, these things are charmed, because it was just a little stuffed critter. You know, they had one for Princess Di, they had one for Jerry Garcia, and now I can't even think of the name of what they were. I would like to hear other people's thoughts on this, because I want to know whether anyone else has noticed that same strangeness about some things, how some things have appeal and you can't figure out why on earth anyone would like this, but I like it too. So anyway, thinking. The whole vision board thing, Maria, you got me going. Anyway, have a great evening. Aloha.